Namaste there, Brother Tarh-Qi here again. So with the Rwanda Bill, the Tory wheel of existence keeps turning, and it seems they cannot step off as they cannot find enlightenment. No surprise really, for the natural party of government and the most successful political party in history, reality has finally caught up with them. The political battles are now that with their own. The rats are battling to find out who will be the last rat standing. None of this is new to others. You see, all political parties are coalitions of people who don't all believe the same thing. Political success goes to those who understand compromise, or at the least keeping to the script until they can get their views to become party mainstream. This has been a failing of the Labour Party and the wider political left in recent times. The left just cannot seem to understand that wielding political power, getting elected, is more important in the real world than ideological purity. It's all a bit Pythonesque. The People's Front of Judea don't believe exactly the same as the Judean People's Front, so the front for the people of Judea think it's in with a chance. And then the Romans invade and the people of Judea all lose. The discourse in the Conservative Party has finally gone the same way, playing out over nearly 2 decades. Brexit was going to unify them, and Cameron rashly thought his referendum would see off the nutters. He lost because he was entitled and thought it would be a walkover, and the Leave campaigns lied through their teeth. Then it became hard Brexit after Call Me Dave had gone. The belief being that the hardest of Brexits would calm the nutters and sovereignty shaggers who believe that the UK should be allowed to make whatever laws and do whatever it likes on the world stage because
we're British, down with foreign.
We can't, of course. Any treaty, be it EU membership, NATO, CPTPP, the European Convention on Human Rights and its associated court, and any peaceful relationship of one nation with another involves both accepting compromises on their individual actions to make a greater good for all. Case in point, Sunak won the vote at the safety of Rwanda Bill's second reading on Tuesday. The Rwanda Bill is still breaking international law. An international law that the Tories pledged to uphold in their most recent manifesto. Laws on asylum and refugees that the UK had a huge part in creating in the 1950s because it was seen as vital that individual nations couldn't just decide who was a non-person to suit themselves, but be held to an international set of standards. And this is Sunak and the Tory party's wheel. Either the bill will fail at the committee stage, with the headbangers wanting it far harsher, and the moderates, such as they are, finally discovering their spines and calling for an end, or the Lords will block it, quite legitimately, as it is not a manifesto promise and it still requires the UK to break international law. These next few months might be like Theresa May's last year as PM, trying to push through her Brexit deal that satisfied nobody and wondering why it failed vote after vote. A general election now would solve that at a stroke, but Sunak knows it will be a disaster for the Conservatives. He has chosen Rwanda as a hill to die on, that immigration can become the Tory electoral salvation. But he is running out of time. Sunak was supposed to steady the ship as PM. His skill set might make him head boy at Winchester, permit him to line his own pockets in an investment bank, get elected to Westminster, become a junior Treasury Minister as an arch monetarist. But as Prime Minister? He's weak, both in character and politically, and very inexperienced in Parliament. He does not deal with ordinary people and the ordinary world with any real understanding. And yet, last October, the Parliamentary Party decided that he was their best hope from amongst their number. I want to keep this video shortish for now. Suffice it to say that the nation's problems, and thus the Tories' problems, revolve around failures of UK government over many years. They tried blaming Europe and the EU, won their referendum, got their Brexit, and found that didn't solve anything. Europe wasn't the problem. There's a politics and economics discussion here for how the whole developed world needs to change how it does business, but that's also probably a discussion for another time. And so back to meditation, back to something we should all do, including the Tories, to seek inner peace, the achievement of which help us all to enlightenment and a way off that wheel. Or at the very least, better digestion and less sleep disturbance. Chin chin, brothers and sisters. Namaste. Om.